So I'm now joined by Aaron to discuss Tyreece John-Jules, who spent the 2021 season on loan at Doncaster Rovers. Aaron, thanks for joining me, first of all. I'm going to let you plug yourself, where you're coming from. Of course, Doncaster fan, obviously.
So I'm Aaron Challoner. I run two YouTube channels. I run one for the theme park industry and one for sports. So we've got Coast to Chal. We've also got Chal Sport. Now, Chal Sport focuses on Doncaster Rovers and also football in general, but also focuses on ice hockey and basketball as well, which is two of the great sports in the industry as well. We're two great channels that I've been doing for the past couple of years now, and we're getting close to some good milestones on the channels. We just hit 250,000 views on Chal Sport, getting close to 2,000 subs in the first 2 years, which is unbelievable. And then on the other channel, we're getting close to 3,000 subscribers and 1 million views. So that'd be wonderful to try and hit those marks by the end of this year. Thank you very much for getting me on today.
Definitely, mate. Well, let's talk about Tyreece then. As I said, he spent the season on loan with you guys in the 2021 season, of course, in League One. Sadly, you guys now in League Two after relegation last year. Sorry to remind you of that. 21 games, 5 goals. Of course, on loan from Arsenal. He's now joined us on a season on loan from Arsenal. How would you rate his time at the club? Of course, this was behind closed doors era where no fans were allowed to go in the ground and sort of stuff. But I follow and all that sort of stuff, and highlights you can still watch. But how would you rate his time at the club?
I'd say it was all right. I wouldn't say it was too spectacular because I think the main thing that sort of blocked him from getting some kind of longevity with the club was injury. And that seems to be the theme of our past 18 months. So I think injury was the big thing that sort of, stopped him from getting that long period of games. But when he's on it, I think that he's a very prolific striker, works a good target man, likes to get in off the shoulder sometimes, can score goals if you give him that starting consistency. And, we'll see what it does with that chance. But I think, like I say, if you keep him injury free, then he'll have a better shot. But I think his injury record may give Ipswich fans a bit of a worry.
Yeah, and as you do, you watch the show reels, you watch all of these highlights. They all look great, don't they? Because it's always his best bits. Let's talk about his strengths and some of the things he needs to work on. Let's talk about his strengths first. As I say, he scored 5 goals. That was a good sort of loan spell in terms of scoring a few goals in competitive football in League One. What would you say was his main strengths?
Um, I think overall his main strength really was the fact that he was trying to get into the right areas. I think in terms of a goal scorer, he tries to get into the right areas and tries to work with the players around him. Like I said, I think when we were sort of flying under Darren Moore in that first half of that season, or that first sort of half and a bit of that season, up until about February, March, I think that the games that he had with us, I think he was getting in the right areas. He was trying to make things happen. He was trying to, stylize the play. And like I said, he was just getting into the right areas at the right time, or trying to get into the right areas at the right time, and sort of working as a cohesive unit with the wingers and the midfielders. So he is very much a team player as well as an out-and-out striker. So I think that was one of the main strengths for me, trying to get into the right areas.
Yeah, and he was 19 at the time. He's now 21. He's now had a season. He spent last season on loan at Blackpool and also Sheffield Wednesday. So I'm sure he's grown a bit more. He's got more physical because of, he's grown up a tiny bit more. What do you say he needs to work on still? Back then, I'm sure he's maybe improved on that, but what do you reckon he needs to improve on?
Just having that confidence to find the back of the net. I think it's just as simple as that. I think that, even though 5 goals is okay, I think that, like I said, I think certain things stopped him from having that longevity of games where he could have found his confidence to put more goals in the back of the net. So I think his injury record is not great. I wouldn't say he's completely injury prone, but I would say that I'd say he has a risk with him. I think he carries a bit of a risk. But like I said, just confidence to find the back of the net. But I think that'll come with time, and I think that'll come with a longevity of games with Ipswich.
So just unmuting myself. I'm professional, as all the viewers know anyway. As you said about injuries, I've just looked back. Like he had a loan spell at Lincoln, and that got cut short because of an injury. And I think at Sheffield Wednesday, he also made one appearance and unfortunately got injured. So hopefully he's now gone away from that, and hopefully he'll have a good pre-season with us. As a whole, do you think that's a good signing for Town? As a signing from Arsenal was always good to get Premier League club on loan. As a whole, what do you reckon?
I think McKenna knows what he wants to do with him. I think McKenna's got a good idea about what he wants to do with all his players. That's why I'm so confident as a neutral going into Ipswich this season about Kieran McKenna as a manager. I think he knows exactly what he wants to do with John-Jules. I think he wants to know the way he wants to play. In terms of the signing itself, like I said, there is the risk with injuries, but I think, like I said, if you give him the longevity of games, there's no reason at all why he can't prove himself. And this season, be the one to prove himself, especially when you're in a decent Ipswich team that are going to try and fight for promotion back into the Championship this season. So, I think this is Tyreece's opportunity, really.
I've done it again. I've done it again. Yeah, as you said, it's probably his opportunity now. He's 21, come on loan from Arsenal. This is probably his last proper chance, really, to show what he can do for Arsenal. Really, you've got to think Arsenal. There's younger players coming through for their first team already, so I'm excited with this one. I think he can be. He's versatile as well. Any other notes, my friend, on Tyreece as a player?
I mean, if he can't get into Arsenal's first team and he does a great job at Ipswich, there's no reason at all why there's an opportunity for a permanent deal. I think his contract runs out either next summer or the summer after, either 2023 or 2024. But yeah, there's a chance of maybe a permanent deal in the future if he does well and Arsenal particularly don't feel like he's ready for the first team. I think when he signed with us a couple of years ago, there was this knowledge from some Arsenal fans that he does have a long-term future at Arsenal. That may have changed with the past couple of loan spells with Blackpool Wednesday and all that stuff in the past. So maybe that's changed since then. But I think definitely when we signed him a couple of years ago on loan, I think there was that definite potential from some Arsenal fans that he could get involved in the first team. And in fact, I spoke to Robbie from AFTV a couple of years ago on this deal, and he said to me, he's a great young prospect, and we all know Robbie from AFTV when he rates people, and he rated John-Jules' potential. So back then there was definitely a potential from Arsenal fans that he could make the first team in the future, but whether that's changed since then or not, because obviously they've got Nketiah now on the new number 14 shirt, they've got Balogun going through, they've got all these different players. They're going to bring in someone like Gabriel Jesus. So Arsenal's plans probably would have changed since then. But yeah, I think there's no reason at all why John-Jules can't make the permanent switch in a year or two if it goes well.
Yeah, hopefully it does go well. Well, Aaron, thank you so much for joining me. Some great insight there. The lowdown on Tyreece John-Jules, of course, looks on loan for the rest of the season from Arsenal, and we should see how he gets on. Let us know in the comments down below your thoughts and your feelings on this signing. We're back for many more videos to come. See you then.